Affiliation prior to asking a question. We've got individuals passing the mics on both ends. We've got Ole Miss, Mike Bianco, along with players Errol Robinson and the Dallas Woolfolk. We'll open it up with a statement from Coach Mike and then to the players after his opening statement. Coach.
Just an incredible, I thought, college baseball game where, if you thought for a second that the games didn't matter, and that you were certainly wrong. I thought both teams played their hearts out today, and although we didn't play the cleanest game, I was so proud of our guys and proud of the way we played the whole week. And what happened to us, in the 8th hasn't happened all year. I don't know what the stats are, but we're like 37-0 leading after 6, and or maybe better than that. And it was a tough one to swallow. But of course, very proud of our guys. I thought Smith, gave us a great effort. When we made a couple errors, made it hard on him. He probably could have gone another inning. And then, of course, super proud of Dallas, true freshman, come in that kind of atmosphere and that situation, so much on the line to pitch like that. But tough one. I've said a few times this week. It's a very humbling league, and A&M is so good. And we let the door open a little bit, and they ran through it.
Questions for the players now. Up front here.
Dallas, if you would, just tell us a little bit about your outing, how you felt out there, and if you would, collectively, the staff. I know you guys had a day off yesterday. How did you guys feel as a staff? Were you fresh? What was that like?
Having the day off just helped all the pitchers just get rested, and I just try to go out there, give my defense the best opportunity and the team to make good plays and fill the strike zone.
TJ Wary with WJTV in Jackson. Just for the both of you, what's the biggest takeaway you guys get from this week after starting the way you did? But I mean, falling short today, but obviously a pretty good week.
I think it's a momentum shift. Coming out hot with 3 games was big for us, especially after the A&M weekend and how that kind of finished out. But also getting the win that 3rd game against A&M kind of was the beginning of this turnaround. It was great to see the bats, getting hot, scoring, almost double digits every game. Pitchers doing really well, and right now it's just a time for us to kind of use this momentum into the region.
Errol, looking ahead like that, do you feel like you guys have done enough for a national seed?
I'm not one to, I'm not in the room with the guys who decide all that mess, but, I'd sure love to, I think we deserve one. It'd be nice to definitely have, the national seed and have our fans behind us at home, in our stadium, but, I'm more just proud of the team and, the name we put for ourselves, going into the back half of the season.
Just how tough is it seeing Wyatt, struggle like that, a guy who hasn't had an outing like that really all season?
What guys forget is that Wyatt, people would notice his struggle because of how good he is. Every time he goes out there, it gives us the best chance. So I wouldn't even call it a struggle. It's baseball. Some things happen sometimes, and sometimes they don't go our way. Like the 8th inning, and other times in the game where we, weren't as clean as we usually are. But Wyatt's a guy who, even after this, we trust him, and he's going to go out there, on Friday night when we're at home hosting a region up in Oxford, and get the job done for us. And we trust him, 100%.
Any more questions for the players? Thank you, guys. You can step down. Thank you. We'll resume now here, front row, for questions for Coach Mike Bianco.
Mike, you come up from the Party Ledger, the national scene conversation. How do you feel about it? How much does that matter to you?
Well, I think it matters for everybody. That's why it's such a big deal. I think that's why Ole, you talk about it so much, I'm sure it won't be the last question today. You know, you play at home, you have a better shot. And Errol, so he's, you know, God, he's so good, isn't he? And it's the right answer. You know, we're not one of the 10 people in Indianapolis. But what would be a shame is if they don't pick the 16 sites and the 8 national seeds on the merit, whatever the metrics are, you know, whatever from, you know, RPI to record and all the things that they look at for everybody, that they would look at our conference the same way, and the ACC, and don't start looking at how many teams from this league. They don't do that in basketball. They pick the best teams. You know, I don't know why it's a conversation. I mean, it shouldn't be. You know, there's years where the SEC is really good and has a lot of teams. There's years where we're not as good and we have less teams, and maybe another conference, you know, has more teams. And so that's, I think, what everybody's talking about. I think if you look on paper, our resume is really good. And if you didn't put a name on it or what league, and you just looked at the numbers, I mean, heck, we may not get, you know, we might get 5, we may get 6, you know, in this league. And so why is that so wrong? I don't understand that conversation. I don't know why that's so wrong. And not just solely because of RPI. Look at everything like they do for all the teams. But, you know, it's amazing to me when you look at some of the teams, not just for sites, but when you look at just to get in, you know, other teams that, you know, have 50 RPIs, people say they're on the bubble. When you get a 50 RPI in the SEC, it's like you have no chance. You know, I don't know why there's 2 different criteria. And so that's my hope. My hope is the people in Indianapolis don't look at it that way. They try to pick the best 64, then the best 16, and then the best 8, because that's how it's supposed to be done, and that's the fairest.
Kendall Rogers, D1 Baseball. Mike, there in the middle innings, you guys really had some opportunities to kind of break this thing open. As the game went on, did you kind of feel like, you know, we kind of need to put this thing away, they can storm back? And also, you've seen these guys, you know, 4 times in the last couple of weeks. What makes their offense just so relentless?
Well, one, yeah, you're exactly right. One of the things is we didn't get the extra base hits today. You know, it's a lot of singles out there. It's hard to criticize the offense. I don't have a box here, but I think we had 17 hits. You get 17 hits, you know, you're supposed to win. Yeah, it would have been nice to, you know, get a couple more, you know, timely hits or, you know, a double. But again, I thought we had great at bats. I thought our kids were terrific offensively. I thought we were great on the bases. You know, taking the extra base, we stayed aggressive. We tried to steal bases. We tried to push the limits a little bit because we knew how important this game was, and we're playing for a championship. The second question, they're just good. People talk about their offense. Look at the arms that they run out there. They catch the ball, they'll steal if you don't defend it. If you fall asleep, you know, Rob's, you know, right on it, and they steal a base, and, you know, they put themselves in good positions. They take the extra base. They do everything well. They're as good as anybody we've played all year. Offensively, I think because they're so physical, you don't think, you know, I think from the outset, we know now because we played them 4 times, that maybe they won't hit the ball the other way. They won't handle the breaking ball, or they don't handle lefties. They don't have that weakness. They're lefties, Banks and Burke and those guys. They handle left-handers. I don't think left-handers give them a problem. They handle the off-speed pitches. They're an old veteran group that's has a lot of confidence. And again, you may get them, but it's just a grind. It's calling the pitches. It's just a grind through, you know, 100+ pitches to try to. They're just relentless. They're real good.